Shalom, all praises, blessings, glories, and honors to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem, Racha Kodash. Double honors to my elder apostles and bishop elders of Great Millstone who have told me this truth, as well of men of like mind. Shalom wa chasad, which means peace and mercy to the elect of the nation of Israel, whom are you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, and Israelite foreigners of the sealand of our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, whom are scattered here in America, which is Babylon the Great, and abroad. To you I say Shalom, and Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Ratazah. This lesson is edifying and informative. In the news from the AP, North Korea's Kim orders exponential expansion of nuke arsenal. North Korea's Kim orders exponential expansion of nuke arsenal. Joel chapter 3 verse 9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruner hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. And so we are continuously seeing a nation such as North Korea that was once weak now saying that it is strong, because now they possess ICBM nuclear missiles, and they are now ordering the exponential expansion of their nuclear arsenal. They are beating their plowshares into swords and their pruner hooks into spears. That is to say that they are taking their economic wealth and using it towards the research, development, and enhancements of weapons of mass destruction, such as nuclear warheads. And not just North Korea, but other nations around the globe. Okay? It says, again, beat your plowshares into swords. So take your farming instruments, which is a metaphor for their economic wealth, and beat them into swords, into instruments of cruelties, and your pruner hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. And so this is what we are seeing here with North Korea. CO, South Korea AP. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un ordered the exponential expansion of his country's nuclear arsenal and the development of a more powerful intercontinental ballistic missile. State media reported Sunday, after he entered 2023 with another weapons launch following a record number of testing activities last year. Kim's moves are in line with the broad direction of his nuclear program. He has reportedly vowed to boost both the quality and quantity of his arsenal to cope with what he calls U.S. hostility. Some experts say Kim's push to produce more nuclear and other weapons signals his intention to continue a run of weapons tests and ultimately solidify his future negotiating power and win greater outside concessions. And why is North Korea so focused on carrying out so many nuclear tests and producing more nuclear weapons? Because the Lord has put it in the minds and the spirits of their leader and their military generals to do these things in preparation for the thorough woe which cometh quickly, according to the book of Revelation, the 11th chapter, the 14th verse. And again, not just North Korea, but also the rest of the nations throughout the world. Nations such as the US, Iran, China, Russia, India, Pakistan. In fact, it had been recently reported that the US had set aside 800 and roughly 70 billion US dollars to use it towards their military industrial complex. Okay, so the Lord is stirring up these nations to increase their nuclear capabilities in preparation for the thorough woe, as we are in the season of war, according to the book of Ecclesiastes, the 3rd chapter, the 8th verse. Okay, and the thorough woe won't begin until after the mark of the beast, the sea has been mandated. Okay, so this article serves as an example of what is written in Joel chapter 3 verse 10, of a nation beating its plowshares into swords and pruning hooks into spears, and saying that it is strong. It says they are now keen on isolating and stiffening North Korea, unprecedented in human history. Kim said at a recent ended key ruling party meeting. According to the official Korean Central News Agency, the prevailing situation calls for making redoubled efforts to overwhelmingly beef up the military muscle. During the 6-day meeting meant to determine new state objectives, Kim called for an exponential increase of the country's nuclear arsenal. Now, the word exponential means of an increase becoming more and more rapid. So he calls for a more and more rapid increase of the country's nuclear arsenal to mass produce battlefield tactical nuclear weapons targeting South Korea. Now we understand it will ultimately target America, Babylon the Great. Okay, because these nations, according to Jeremiah the 50th chapter, will bend their bows, which are their nuclear silos, to shoot their arrows upon America, Babylon the Great, according to biblical prophecy. And in 1 hour, according to the book of Revelation, chapter 18, verse 17, will the Lord destroy America, Babylon the Great, according to biblical prophecy. Okay? Nothing will be left of this land after the Lord has destroyed it. Only a desert where wild beasts, unclean beasts, dragons and owls and satyrs will dwell, according to Isaiah the 13th chapter, the latter end of the chapter. Okay? It says, he also presented a task to develop a new ICBM missioned with a quick nuclear counterstrike capability, a weapon he needs to strike the mainland U.S. He said the North's first military reconnaissance satellite will be launched at the earliest date possible, KCNA said. Kim's comments from the party meeting reads like an ambitious but perhaps achievable New Year's resolution list, said Sue Kim, a security analyst at the Californian-based R&D Corporation. It's ambitious in that Kim consciously chose to spell out what he hopes to accomplish as he had into 2023. But it also suggests a dose of confidence on Kim's part. Last month, North Korea claimed to have performed key tests needed for the development of a new strategic weapon, a likely reference to a solid field ICBM and a spy satellite. Kim's identification of South Korea as an enemy and the mention of hostile U.S. and South Korea's policies is a reliable pretext for the regime to produce more missiles and weapons to solidify Kim's negotiation position and concretize North Korea's status as a nuclear weapons power, so Kim said. Later Sunday, South Korea's defense ministry reiterated a warning that any attempt to use nuclear weapons by North Korea will lead to the end of Kim Jong-un government. The U.S. military has previously made similar warnings. The new year started, but our security situation is still very grave, South Korean President Yoon Suk Yeol told top military officials during a video conference. Our military must resolutely punish any provocation by the enemy with a firm determination that we dare to risk fighting a battle. Senior diplomats from South Korea, the US, and Japan spoke by phone and agreed that provocations by North Korea would only deepen its international isolation and prompt their trilateral security cooperation. They still reaffirmed that the door to dialogue with North Korea remains open, according to the South Korean Foreign Ministry. This article is obviously quite lengthy, so I'm not going to read the rest, as the point has already been read. Point is, the Lord is stirring up these nations to further develop weapons of mass destruction in preparation for the thorough as well. So with that, I will conclude this lesson. The Lord's willing, it was edifying and informative to the elect of the nation of Israel. Until the next Lord's willing, I say shalom to the elect.